Hello there, only one Kenobi here, only one, and welcome to, I think, episode 20 of Only One Fans. It's going to be a bit of an interim episode, just to see the month out. But look at all of this junk in here. Oh, I hate it when it looks like that. I hate it when it looks like this. And the reason there's all this stuff in the middle is because I've been doing a bit of DIY. You might have seen in a few previous videos I talked through it. I think it was the Tungori time I gave you a little look at what I've done. And also on Patreon I've been documenting what I've been doing on there, so you can check that out. But this is it, you see. I have basically, in a sense, moved 5 of these shelves across, which was I enjoyed doing the job. Actually, it was a good excuse for me to clear these shelves, and then I have actually put some stuff back for New Hope anyway. So I'm really looking forward to bringing back Shelf Indulgence, man. It's going to start sooner, I think, than later. I think I might just do it one slice at a time. But anyway, that's that. So that's why the room's in a bit of a mess. But who cares, man? Let's just crack on. I'm going to do an Only One Fan's got some questions to answer. If you'd like to ask me a question, then please do pop it in the comments. And also, I'm going to address some voice messages I have received, which I always love doing that. It's great to hear your voice and what some of you sound like. That's always awesome. But yeah, the room is a bit of a mess, so I'm not going to be shy. I'm going to... Oh, my gimbal's just run out of battery. I'm going to... Oh, I'm going to just go for it, man, and do some filming in here, answer some questions, open something that is appropriate to open in time for Mando Season 3. And that is about it, man. Looking forward to it. Thank you for joining me. Let's do it.
Yeah, I just wanna open my figures. If I don't man, I get triggered, yeah. I just wanna open my figures. If I just wanna open my figures. I just wanna open my figures. I just wanna open my figures. I just wanna show you my figures. I just wanna know. I just wanna open my figures. If I don't mind, I get triggered, yeah. I just wanna open my figures. If I just wanna show.
I quite like that shot of just miscellaneous Star Wars stuff. Anyway, it's time to open something. There's loads of things I could open, but I forgot about this. And this is just right for opening because of the fact we've got Mando Season 3 around the corner. So this was a gift from Lara V a while ago. Thanks, Lara. I've been saving this one. I knew it would be an Only One Fans where I open this, although you could, make this its own video, really, because it's a solid set. But no, man, let's get it open in this episode. So I have bought a Droid Factory set before when I was at a Disney park. 2019, I bought a really good set of figures from Solo, and everyone always asks me about these droids. Well, let me go and get a couple very quickly. Just go and get you a couple. This is one of them. Everyone always asks about him. He's great. He's got the Arabesh or whatever you want to call that on the side of him. The other one is this one from Solo, which is always nifty. I never know where to put him. I used to have him in X-Wings and all sorts, but he's just, you know, he's nice on his own. He's got the restraining bolt there. Apparently, they're all like in solo, but like, you know, blink and you'll miss them. That was that. I've got a video separate if you want to see the opening of that. That was years ago when I opened them. So go and check that out. And then here we are. So you've got R6-D3. You've got this guy, we all know who he is, MA-13, that's the one that's on the barge. That's awesome, that R1 there. That massive Deveronian or whatever they're called. Like wrestles one to the ground, man. And then there's this guy, what is he? Anno. Can't remember where he is. Where you see him. Someone did tell me in a comment. Let's have a look at any more evidence. Nah, man. Can't remember where you see him. You'll have to let me know. It's a bit dusty, this. It's been on the floor, Lara, for ages. Let's get it open and enjoy these, and then they'll be making their way to my Mandalorian shelf. Without question. Oop. Let's do it. Aha. First. Excuse me. First, look at them out of the box, still in the case, the tray or whatever you want to call it. Now this one here, I really like this one because it looks just like an Imperial Dalek, or the same colour, you know, a bit of white and gold, or I think the Imperial Dalek is cream and gold. But that's a nice looking arty, that, man. You know, please do comment if you can tell me where these droids are in the I nearly said film then, in the series. This guy, we all know about him, he's awesome. Didn't one of them drive a... you know, when Mando's in that standoff in episode 3, there's a droid at the front of like a kind of a carriage, a bit like on Rise of the Resistance. I think it's more of the head of an R5 kind of head. I might be wrong on that. He's awesome, isn't he? Look at that, nice bit of weather. And these are Disney Park figures, but they totally match the 3 3/4 inch scale, so they've got their head screwed on with that. They've got a clue on that one, haven't they? Well done, Disney Toys. They're totally matching and supplementing the Hasbro line. And then here's this one here. I like that Republic emblem on there. Well, the New Republic, I beg your pardon. The New Republic, it's the Rebellion emblem, that. And I wouldn't mind one of those droids as well. They've got them on as well. They look a little bit like something from the Clone Wars, those droids. They're kind of roaming around that police ship as well. And then there's this guy. Oh man, I really can't remember where he came from. But he looks like kind of like he could be Ahsoka's droid, but it's not, obviously. Let's get him out, man. Wow, look at his dome. That's awesome. Oh, look at that. He's been packed in. Look at some of that. Look at that. Factory error. They've packed in his tri-leg or whatever you want to call it. His third leg. The wrong way. My God, that's an error. Look at this. This is an error. It only goes in that way. Look at the state of it. Sorry, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. How about that, Lara V? That's not got a hinge on it. So that's an error. Oh, how disappointing. That was my favourite one to open. Unless he's supposed to look like that, is he? I doubt it. Why would he look like that? Oh, unless you... Oh, what an idiot. What an absolute pumpkin head. Bruh. I can't believe that. That's quite funny. I'll keep that in. So you can have a good laugh at me there. Look at that. Anyway, that's more like it. That's the front of the droid. That's really funny. Next one. Let's get this guy out. Oh, it's good. Ah! I'm glad he comes with a stand. That's really good, except it would be really good if that was an acrylic, a clear acrylic. That would be really good if they'd done that. That doesn't matter. It's still pretty cool looking droid. I'll go and get my other R1 down from the shelf in a minute that you saw in A New Hope. Now let's get the big fella out. And Ian Butler, if you are watching, how about 3D printing a barge, a lava barge, or whatever you call it? It's like got that echo of Mustafar, this guy, hasn't he? What an interesting droid. Look at him. Does he got peg holes? No, he hasn't. Oh, God, he will need some kind of stand. How's his articulation? Oh, yeah, he's got a hinge there. That's going to be quite handy. Any other articulation on him? Oh, that's a loose joint there. It's like a socket there. That's just a hinge. And there's no other ball joint. Oh yes, there you go. There's a swivel double kind of a. Was that classed as a ball joint? That. Hang on. This could be quite good to use this to support him standing. I haven't got any blue tack on me at the minute, but he will need something like that for equilibrium. Hang on. Oh, that'll have to do for now. Right, let's get them all laid out. Great, they're really interesting. I might not necessarily. I think really we need the rest of the crew, don't we, for that ship? Well impressed, really nice, man. There's this droid here. Yeah, kind of. Even though it's silver, it has that. It's kind of a neutral colour silver in it. Doesn't show up dirt on cars either. But yeah, on this surface anyway, it looks alright. Maybe I'll put it on there. Would it look any better? Yeah, get that floating effect. Nice. Do with a bit of something to make it look a little less plasticky, maybe. Like a coating or grime or something. I don't know. Still looks decent. Paint apps on the bottom there. Very plain though, isn't it? Detail though. That could be enhanced though with a bit more extra paint. There's this guy here, he's got nice detail on the top of the dome there. Look at that. Nice shape of dome as well, not the same as R2. Or this fella, he's your classic R2. I wonder what number was he again? I'm assuming this is R63, this guy. The Imperial Dalek colour. And there's the back of him. Alright, isn't he? Any weathering? Really doesn't need it, does he? He's just a nice clean droid. And then this one. Really, I'm annoyed I can't remember where he's from. Restraining bolt on him. There's a bit of dirt and grime on there, that's good. Makes a world of difference. He wouldn't look as good if he didn't have that. You know what I mean? Just in the nooks and crannies. Still an impressive head though, that's awesome. It's a Disney design, that. Unless we've seen a droid like that before, but I doubt it. And then of course this fella, who is awesome. That long body, he looks quite intimidating actually. Depends how fast he can move, but he can probably do some damage. It's interesting to see Astromech's different incarnation of one. That is all. How about that? Let me know what you think about these. And then these are great droids as well. These are Disney Park ones. And do you know what? I am going back to a Disney Park in this summer. And it's funny really, when I think about merch, all I've really got in mind is these droids. I'd be interested to see what they have. You know, they've got a good lineup for droids. It's brilliant. But, you know, I'll pick up anything else. But if it's TVC, it'll probably be overpriced, you know. Be more interested in getting their droid factory, which are a decent price, cost effective, and they look good and they do a good job for your collection. Can't beat it. Awesome. Thank you, Lara. Let's move on. So let's move on with a couple of questions I received. And the first one is from Cool Action Figures here. And he says, hello there. Huge fan of the channel, and I would like to ask if there was a video of yours that shows how you stuck your ships to the wall like that. Love the setup because I've got some ships in need of some space and I love this idea. Yeah, so thanks for your question, man. And I'm glad you've asked it because the videos that I've done are so long ago now, they'll be buried. So this is how I mount stuff, man. And there is a video I've done before. As I say, I'll leave a link to that in the description and we'll talk about it again in this episode of Only One Fan. So I've got a few things that I've mounted. I like having things mounted flight pose or flight in a kind of a flight position hanging from the ceiling. I've not ventured that far yet. People have always wondered how I got that in that position? Well, that's because it's on the end of these brackets here. So let's talk about the Falcon first. This is an idea I nicked from someone on Facebook. I wished I knew who it was, and then I would credit them. I think it was just a regular punter, and then a lot of people turn to me and think that I'm the innovator of this and I came up with it. No way, man. I nicked this off somebody, and it was just simply exactly how I've done it. 2 brackets on the wall, and that's where I've got the Falcon leaning. If I just move this out of the way a minute, you'll see what the type of brackets are. You see, these are the biggest I could find, actually. I thought, well, why not just go for it? But the gradient you've got him on, or it on, the Falcon, she, if you're going to go by gender, the Falcon is on that kind of gradient there, so maybe you could probably get away with using slightly smaller brackets. But anyway, because these protrude a bit, I discovered that I could fix the B-wing just on the end of it, and it makes a lot of people nervous, this, but trust me, this is fixed, man. Look at that. Boom. That ain't going nowhere. It's very difficult to describe where it is, but it's just slotted in to the back of it. I don't know, man. I don't really particularly want to take it off, but it's in the back somewhere, somehow. I found a sweet spot, and that's how that's mounted. So that's the only figure I've got really that's in a kind of a flight pose, really, coming out. I'd sooner it not there, really, because it's kind of covering the Falcon and sort of semi-blocking the Slave One, but I'm in a very space-intensive situation here. Just very quickly, I'll show you that. I don't know how long it's going to stay a fixture like that, but I've never displayed an X-Wing like that before. But this is an acrylic case. It's the one from Star Action Figures, actually. And I just thought I'd see if it worked in that position. And because it's acrylic, it's clear, it kind of works. So, come back. So, yeah, and I'm filling up the space because, as you can see, there's an angle of the Falcon there. Sort of like it's on an axis there, so it's kind of following the shape of the Falcon. So that's that. The other things I've mounted are this here, this Y-wing, which is always nice to see it from that angle because it's not actually fitting. I just put one hook in the wall. It's a terrible mess I've made of it. Can you see that hook there? Hang on. Let me just see if I can show you. Really terrible. Look at the state of the wall. There's a hook there, and there's also that to sit on there. And I've obviously, for safety, I've wrapped that wire around it, and it's supposed to just sit snugly on there, but it kind of falls off occasionally. There you go. That's how I got that mounted. It's just very basic, man. There's no magic. I could do a better job than that. And the other things are these here. I've mounted vehicles like this before in my previous home. In my where my arcade machine used to be. I've just basically with this, I've just used a couple of screws and it sits on nicely. And this is just hanging off that. I'll take that off there. You'll just see it's just a basic nail. I've wrapped around the another one of these twisties that come from a Star Wars figure set. You know, when you've got they're really handy then. They come like a load of vehicles and creatures and stuff I've bought recently have come with them that kind of, they're tied inside the cardboard box. I've been using them. You could use anything though. You'd use a bit of string if you wanted. So that's how I got that here. Hang on. Whoa. Yeah, there he is. Back on. And get the leg stanchion out a bit more. And here we go. These are these brackets again. These are really handy. I mean, this actually looked better coming down on the shelf onto this acrylic stand actually. A couple of months ago I had it like that, but it does the job, man. Obviously you can still see it there, but it kind of blends in with the background. And it's on an angle like that because it is so close to the door. There's enough clearance. Whoa, man, look at that. Not leaving much space for clearance there, but that's how that's on there. That's a new way of mounting. But apart from that, I will look into maybe having a few things. I mean, these are great coming off the top of the shelf. These are great. I love that. You know, they look like they're flying, man. They're just leaning on the shelf, and there's enough feature on the base of them to stop them from. They can get enough bite to not move off. They won't fall off, man. You know, they're leaning, but it's like teeth to grip. Ain't gonna go nowhere, man. So I've not had to mount them and just basically park them on an angle. Every other ship I've got, I really much prefer having them parked. Excuse the mess, as I say, I'm in the process of changing the room around. That's why there's so much mess in here, because at the minute I'm, look at this. This is an ongoing project, a new project as of today. I went to a charity shop and I got some more shelves. So if you want to find out a bit more of that, I'm doing a couple of little short videos for Patreon, so I'm keeping them in the loop. So you can get a bit of a backstage tour on that, but still, that's another story. So that was it, man. That's really how I do it. And then obviously when you got things like this, they look great because they've obviously provided with a kind of a clear plastic stands, and they look like they're floating. I like that with them. With the magnolia in the background as a neutral colour. That works nicely, man. It's a nice vehicle, that, isn't it? Love it. Anyway, that's the situation in here, man. Thanks for asking now. And if you want to see those videos, go check them out.
Matthew from Zero Hunter Toys.
Hi Nick, hi Only One fans. If the Vintage Collection brought out another 3-pack, is there a dream selection of 3 figures you would really like? And is there a vehicle that's never been released or creature that you would love to have in the Vintage Collection? There you go. Hope you enjoyed my question. See you later.
Thank you for your question, Matthew. The collector formerly known as Universal Collector, now known as Zero Hunter Toys. Check out Matthew's channel if you haven't already, man. The king of the list video. But yeah, do you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I do have an answer for you, Matthew, of an awesome 3-pack. But I want to clarify what type of pack it is. Is it one of those special action figure sets, or is it one of those 3-packs with the cards on? Because I think I prefer that in both instances of the examples I'm going to give you now. I've got an idea for a Hoth 3-pack. They've just released that 4-pack of Hoth Troopers, haven't they? But I would prefer a 3-pack, one of them being Brendarlin, a specific card back for him, and then the other 2 could be, well, oh man, I've just thought about it. She's on the floor somewhere, hang on. What have I done with her? Here she is, because I've been doing some DIY in here. Her, like she was in the Black Series. If she was on her own card in a 3-pack, that'd be awesome. What was she called again? Torrin Farr, and then somebody else, maybe a deck officer that we haven't seen before. So that's that, Matthew. But here's actually what my ultimate 3-pack would be. I think a really good one, especially for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. How about this for a 3-pack? These fellas plus what's he called now? Simaloo. Simaloo. Skip to Maloo, Simaloo. Yeah, so I'd have Simaloo and I'd have these 2 gentlemen. I can't be bothered looking at who they are. Forgotten the names. You have to ask Daniel Chart. He knows who they are off by heart. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? 3 dignitaries in a pack. Love it. Oh, and there's one answer I've not given you, Matthew. You did ask 2 questions in one, which is always good to cover a couple of different topics.
Is there a vehicle that's never been released or creature that you would love to have in the Vintage Collection?
Well, I'm filming here the Oppie fish. And there's one vehicle that they really should have done in 3 3/4 inch, and they never did it for Phantom Menace. It's very topical right now because, as you know, I've been opening a lot of Phantom Menace stuff. But the Bongo, my God, that would be a perfect vehicle to do because it's not that big. It's only the capacity. I've got the capacity for 3, that vehicle, and I would love them to do a Bongo. I think you can get some kind of small toys in the Micro Machines line, but it's just, I'm just filming random stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. I know, just my Phantom Menace stuff, but the Oppie would be brilliant. You could have Qui-Gon in there, you could have had Obi-Wan, and also Jar Jar, of course. You know what I'm saying, man? What a shame they never did that. And it begs the question why they didn't really. It's right for 3 3/4 inch scale. It was such an important vehicle in the Phantom Menace. Hasbro, why didn't you make a Bongo? But anyway, you still could. Maybe. So, just before I end this episode, I'm just going to, like Kathleen Kennedy, I'm going to just break in here. I'm just going to break in here. I just want to say that I've got a couple of other voice messages I received that were really good questions that I sadly won't be able to put into this episode of Only One Fans. I've had a really busy weekend doing a lot of different bits of DIY stuff for my normal work and other bits and bobs. So I will do another episode of Only One Fans very soon, actually. The reason I wanted to get this one out today and not prolong it was because I wanted to do the review of the figures there the droids in time for Mando Season 3, which will be on the 1st of March, which is this Wednesday, I believe. So, I thought I would wrap this episode up. I've got one more question I want to answer, which isn't a voice message. It's a message that was from ages ago from Stephen Murphy, a really good friend of the channel, and he asked an awesome question, which I shall read now. And he asked, are there any figures you've had your eye on for a while online that you're hoping to get soon and maybe win if there's a bid? Hey, Stephen, thanks for your question. I like we all have a list of stuff that we mean to get that's not going to break the bank, but it's just missed us or eluded us. I'll answer your question in a second, but I just want to talk about Boss Nass here. This is a figure that I've always wanted, that I recently got, and all it took was just me buying it, you know what I mean? Pulling the trigger, and it's, what did he cost me now? About £5, something like that. So that was a figure that I always wanted. So I've got loads of figures like that. Maybe I should do a video on that. Stuff that's missing. I've managed to fill a lot of gaps in that respect recently. Quite a few figures I've acquired, like, figures like this as well. It's Padme and him. Always wanted him. So I've done quite well. I've got a load of stuff recently that's like that. If there's any more, I'll make a little list. But I want to talk about the big boys now. This is stuff that is really important that I get hold of soon because I'm fresh on the scent of it. I've done a lot of stuff for the Phantom Menace. I really want to get a fan bar. I'm just going to whip over here and show you the beasts I have on the Tatooine shelves. You see, now the fan bar is really important because I've just, for whatever reason, after I did the what do you call it now? The MTT review, it sort of like opened the floodgates on my desire for Phantom Menace stuff, and the fan bar is a top of the list. That will be the crown and jewel of whatever I have acquired in the last month or so. But a big beast, just like you've got the Rancor there. I don't know how much bigger he will be, how much he will dwarf the other creatures. But the fan bar is a big one. A big need, and as ever, a figure that I would just love, and I almost had the chance of acquiring one via Volcanic's Playground, God rest him, except that exchange never took place. But I'll explain about that another time, man. But it was such a sweet offer he made. But Exar Kun would be just like the absolute creme de la creme, because Sith have always lost the focus. Sith have always been a focus of mine. Look at this. We've got Ventress. Look at that again. The shelves are a mess. Stuff is just dumped everywhere. Exar Kun would be on a shelf with, I would resurrect my Wall of the Sith, man. I'd have Dooku on there. I'd have, Malak, Malgus, Revan, Nihilus. I'd have Exar Kun on there. I'd have Anakin, Blue Saber Anakin specifically. I like that concept art figure wherever he is. So that's it, man. That's just always be on the top of my list. Exar Kun is like a massive pipe dream. Number 2 is the realistic one, is the fan bar, although that does cost a lot of money for us in the UK. It's a very rare piece over here. And then also, there's also little tidbits, which I will do a video on maybe. The stuff that's passed me by, like this guy, but it's just easily acquirable. Maybe that's why we don't buy stuff like that, because we realise that we'll get it eventually in the fullness of time, you know what I mean? So that's that, man. Yeah, loads going on in this room, man. So it's a bit of a DIY fest at the minute, but still exciting times to spread the stuff out a bit more with the shelves that I'm putting in here. Gonna have, sorry about the focus, it's just very dark. I got 6 of these, so one I should be able to fit another 5 in. So that's the job I'm doing right now. So thank you for joining me for this latest episode of Only One Fans. It's actually half an hour long, which is quite funny, probably because I waffled so much on Matthew's question, because he asked to, and I waffled on uncut. But yeah, I've got other voicemails I never got round to answering and addressing this week, but I will next time. It'll be dead soon. I'll do another episode. Enjoy Mandalorian Season 3. I'm just in the process of watching Season 2. And thank you. If you would like to leave a voice message, do so on Messenger, Facebook and Instagram at Only One Kenobi. If you got a good question, let me have it, man, and I will answer it and feature you in another episode. Also, just drop a comment below if you have a question or comment, and I will also share that in an upcoming episode of Only One Fans too. And with that being said, I'm off.
Thank you very much for listening and watching. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.